Hello, welcome back to the workshop. Right, today I restored and cleaned up this pair of shears, sharpened the blade a little bit. It works, but the problem is the bolt that came with it is far too loose in there, so I need to make a central bolt. That is 3/8 UNF, that's 24 threads per inch. I've checked that out. We have a bit of 1-inch steel bar. I'm going to pop that in the lathe, face it off, and then put a little centre mark in it so I can work quite happily. Actually, I don't need to put a centre mark in it. Right, so what we're making is roughly that. So that overall length there is 1 1/8 inch. We want that to be 3/8. We want that to be about 440 thousandths of an inch, and that to be 1/4 inch. So let's crack on and get turning. I'm just going to face this off and then pull it out and take lots of bits off it. Right, so that will do there. Just lock the carriage so that we can go across the face nicely. Just go grab my Allen keys in. So, get a little steel rule out and measure how much we want out. Quarter out. Take a skim off the outside. Gauge the next thing we want to do is come in, let me see now, 7/8, so we want to come in that much. Put that one up there. So we now want to skim this down to the major diameter of the bolt, leaving this bit on here for working. We will pull it off, pull it out slightly more to part it off. So we want to go in You go down from, let me just measure that. So we're at 992, we want to go down to 440, so we want to lose 550. We're going to take off 100th at a time. Just going to zero this dial out. Right. No, we're not going to go in 50 at a time. So we're taking 100th thou off the diameter, which is about 1.5 millimeters. Right, let's just check where we are at. Should be about 550 or 650. I see 590 or 690. Okay, we are 503 thou. So we want to go in another, just think, 60 thou. Just in case I was wrong about what I thought I was, I'm just going to take a skim cut there. Was right, so we should now be 490. Oh no, 480. And 94. So 494, I'm going to take off 44 thou, so we're going to go 22 thou in on this. Right, let's see how that went. It looks like we're 443, so I'm going to take a spring cut. Let's just check the offending item. We might be close. Yeah, we're close. Do. Right, so now we want to go down to 3/8, which is 375 and just a touch, so we're about, let me just measure that, about 441. So we want to go in, think now, 65 thou. So first thing we're going to do is come in, .30 thou. Hold on, they are supposed to be there. That should get us close. And we want to go in about ½ inch. So what did I put it wrong? About. That should leave us 3/8. So we're going to be just on the other side of that black line. It's just over ½ inch, that'll do. And that is pretty much where I wanted it. That is 372, which is just under what it needs to be for 3/8. So now what I'm going to do is quickly get in there, tilt this slightly and just put a little bit of a land on there. Just give that a quick brush. Where's my brush gone? Just as we can start the die nicely. Take it out of gear. Let's just go and that's hugely too much, but never mind. Right, before I forget, let's straighten this back up. Away. Now what I'm going to do, put this stuff all out of the way. Use the tailstock as a round to drive the die on there. Just to start it off. Right, so we're now going to cut the thread on that. We have a 3/8 24 die in there, UNF. A bit of cutting oil on here. We're going to push. So yeah, just start that a little. I'm going to use the tailstock to hold that square. Let's hope that it's holding that square. And now, just to get it further up there, I think what I'm going to do is put this on backwards. See if I can feed that back on. Recut the thread at the right at the bottom. If all is well, it should go on nicely. And it does. Let's just see if I did it correctly. That looks absolutely sweet, isn't that? That should. Perfect. So all we now need to do, part that off, turn that round, tidy it up. I will just go and break a couple of bird edges first. I'll take the bow off that. Just need to, and you need to do that. Right, let's just pass it off. Okay, so we want to go 250 thou from there. Just needs to be rough. That'll do. And just a little bit of luck. Right, let me just go retrieve that bit, which was too rashly taken off. Right, there we have it. We are now going to go and face that off and then put a nice twiddly end on it. Whoa, that is wildly out. Not quite sure how that happened. I must have caught that funny on the jaw. Okay, we are going to go around and come in at 30 degrees. Take the edge off. Degrees, see if we can catch that. If that's going to take us too far over. Boom! Right, last but not least, we are just going to put a little bit of a centre in that so I can then do some milling on it. Let me find a small centre. what we want is just a little mark so I can pick that up with a centre finder on the milling machine. I can then mill 2 flats, and I can mill a slot. So, right, over to the milling machine. Right, so we're now at the stage where we need to put a couple of features in that to make it more usable. What I've got on the centre bolt. So we've got the centre bolt there lined up. We've got that in a V-block. V-block sat in a parallel so we can push that in there, and so that we can put a couple of flats on either side. We've got that a couple of bits of metal to stop me digging into either the vise or the V-block. So that should get us nice and vertical. What we now need to do is to line this up. Let me just make sure that that's... Hold on, let me take... I think I'm going to have to... So this here is a wiggler. Hopefully I haven't been an idiot and misaligned everything. Just going to take that out. Oh, I know what I need to do. I don't need to do that. All we need to do... That's interesting. Where did that come from? Just manoeuvre that out the way there, so I can get this under, because I won't get this under. There we go. Right. Let's give that a tweak. And the idea of the wiggler is you can get it running nice and true. Well, true enough. We can now line up spindles. This doesn't need to be fantastically accurate, but that should then drop us straight in. That is as good as it gets, and wow. Okay, so we've now got that, we've got this dial here zeroed, so I won't touch that now. So now what I can do, wind that up, now I need to swap these over, for which I think I'm going to have to go and move the table again, which is a pain. But still I know where the 0 point is. was coming back. Oh, it was coming back this way. I don't want to do that. Hold on. Let me get that right again. The idea is to make sure you always operate the same way on the lash, backlash. Hold on, let me grab my magnifying glass. And do. So now if we go wind this way, come back, as we come back to the 0, only thing is that this dial is counting backwards, but never mind, I can work with that. Right, so now we need to take this out. For which I might need to move the table again, but we can relocate it. And I'm also just going to change the spindle speed. Right, so now what we're going to do is just go in and out, just dusting that gently to just cut a slot in that at quite high speed. And we're going to have to be very gentle with this. So I'm turning this the right way, and I'm not. Across the middle. Let me just check to see if that's got enough grip for an appropriately sized coin. And it's deep enough, I think. Probably get a bigger coin in there. Let's see. That's fine. That's probably deep enough. And now we're going to mill two sides on that. So let's just get that back up. I need to wind the speed down. I'm going to go and put in the 10mm collet and a 10mm cutter. I shall be back in a sec. Right, so now I have a 10mm cutter in there. I'm aiming for 3/4 across the flat, so I need to go, taking into account the radius, I worked out I need to go 572 thou that way and then back 572 thou the other way. So we're going to start by doing that one. Unloosen those. Not unloosen, I'm going to loosen that, and we're going to go 572. Oh, that's taken out the wrong way. Oh yes, of course it is. Right, so we're going to go, that's, hold on, let me wind that right back. Just make sure I'm starting in the right place and counting correctly. I think, yes. Right, so I'm going to go, that's 200, 400, that's 500, 70, magnifying glass quickly, I'm going to come back this way. I want to come back to it. So, right, carriage lock. Well, not carriage lock, but right. will do. That is down to, I'll just make a note where that is there. And then we need to move back this way. So that's the centre, so we're going to go $200. $200, $400, that takes me to $500, I'm going to go for 28 on this, which makes 2, which is just about. Do. And that is that. Let me just go on that back through there and just confirm we've hit the right spot. Aiming for 3/4 of an inch. Trust me to get this arse about face. Just measure that blind. .575, that's close enough. Actually, is it? What we'll do, so let's just go grab a appropriately sized spanner. As it happens, 19mm should fit that. And it does, nice and tight. So there we go. That's done now. What I now need to do is just harden it. Let me just put that out of the way. So there we go, machining operations finished. Nicely done, quite pleased with that. Maintain the roundness of that. That will work fine. I shall now heat that up to cherry red, dunk it in some water, we'll call it done. Right then, so centre bolt. We now just need to let you admire that briefly. What we're going to do is heat that up and then dunk it in some oil. And that should give it hard. That should be EN8 still. Let me just go get the blowtorch, which is warming up. Still quite warm. Hopefully we'll give it a little bit of temper. There we have it. It's got it all black as well. Right, I'll be back in a minute. I'll let that cool down and we'll put that together. Crikey, that oil's hot. Should have had a bigger oil. Right, it's just about cool enough to hold. So, whole point of this exercise is that goes through there and goes through, so you can see that the shoulder is nicely through there, doesn't wobble. Other one on top, and we can now put the washers on. bolt on. Get in there with spanner. That's the right end. There we go. Doesn't quite close up at the end. I don't know if I'm going to do anything about that. But that is a nice new centre bolt made. It doesn't do crazy stupid things in there. Just to satisfy my sense of OCD, I'm just going to go and that slightly in the middle. There we go. Job's done. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Oh, and leave comments, by all means do ask questions.